Emily. Hi, welcome back to The Swamp. It's our podcast that we host together, and The Swamp is an acronym.
Stands for some whack-ass movie podcasting.
My name is Dara, and I'm here with my lovely co-host.
I'm Emily.
And this is our first time doing, like, visuals. So if you're listening and you want to see what we look like, I did not get dressed up for this. These are my work clothes. But if you want to see what we look like.
You didn't? Because I love that sweater.
Thank you. It was my friend Rachel, her grandma, who's called Moo. Moo was like, oh, I have all these clothes from the 70s that don't fit me anymore. Do you girls just want to, like, ransack my closet? And I was like, Moo, that's my dream.
Oh my
God.
So
I got so many good pieces of clothing from Moo's closet. So this is vintage from Moo from the 70s.
That's fucking adorable.
I love it. But yeah, so incentive to go check out, link in the description below will be our YouTube channel. Subscribe, even if you're just like a listener on Spotify or whatever. I don't know, subscribe to our YouTube. Maybe you want to see what we look like sometimes. But also bear with us. I'm like definitely trying to like learn how to do video editing as in like real time with this. So if any of you have like hot tips on how to make this less shitty, I don't know. It also might need to be split up into parts because an hour-long video on YouTube is like crunchy as fuck. So we'll see how this goes. But just wanted to prefacing that this is kind of new for us as well. So tips, but do it in a tone that's really nice. Don't hurt my feelings.
We're sensitive girls.
I already have to be, like, insecure about listening to the sound of my own voice every week, and now I'm gonna have to look at my own face as well.
It's a lot.
So this is really, yeah. So you're welcome.
We're really pushing ourselves to the edge with this.
Yeah. It's like dealing with my insecurities, but also maybe giving myself an ego problem at the same time. Like, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. But this week we are continuing Paul MAYno, one of the worst May puns. Some of you have slid into our DMs with some pretty bad May actor puns, though, that we might potentially use in the future. So, but Paul MAYno doing all Paul Dano movies, and I'm so fucking excited this week to talk about Little Miss Sunshine with you, because this is one of my favorite movies that you've never seen.
Yeah.
So like first off, I mean, don't break my heart and tell me you hated it, but first off, like, general thoughts, feelings.
I liked it. I definitely don't think I liked it as much as I thought I was going to. Maybe that's just from being, I feel like anyone I've ever talked to that's watched Little Miss Sunshine is like, yeah, it's top 5 best movie ever, sort of thing. And I really enjoyed it, in general. But, I don't know, it didn't quite live up to my expectation, I guess. I'm not sure why. I haven't sat with it. Maybe I wasn't in the right headspace to watch it. I don't know. But, like, it was really endearing. I will say that. The father did make me want to rip my skin off.
Yeah, I guess I did really hype it up. And not to, like, elevate myself and say that I have really great taste or anything.
Well, you do, but
I think you and I agree a lot. So I think me saying, like, this is, like, gun to my head, name your top 10 favorite movies, this is at least coming in at, like, 5 or 6 as far as, like, you know, what I'm naming on the list. But I definitely think it's also fallen into, like, comfort movie territory for me, where it's, like, maybe I don't regard it as, like, the most brilliant filmmaking or, like, the most, like, insane moving thing ever, but it's just like, it's so comforting to have on. I think the first time I watched it, I was probably 14 or 15, and I think I've seen it probably about 100 times since, so yeah. I guess that's like where I stand on it, versus seeing it for the first time, having somebody with a reputable opinion that you trust be like, this is so good, like there's kind of some pressure there for you to like it. So yeah. It's like a 90-minute film about a family on a vacation. Yeah. Like,
it's like, I definitely feel like I've kind of seen the movie before, you know what I mean? Because it is not like the most original plot and everything. And I did grow up watching like the National Lampoon's like family vacations and everything like that, which this definitely fell into that sort of same category easily. But no, I still really enjoyed it. I thought it was a bit darker than any other, like, family vacation movies. I loved Toni Collette in it, of course.
If that bitch knows how to do anything, it's play a mom that's a little stressed out. Like, a mom that's on the edge. She just, she does it so good. She gets typecast now, because she just... Did you know, this is fucking crazy to me. So when I was researching things about this movie, the age difference between her and Paul Dano is 12 years. They cast them as mother and son, and it's a 12-year age difference.
How old was Paul Dano when he did this?
21.
Okay. Yeah, she looked fucking young.
Yeah. So he was 21 playing a 15-year-old, and Abigail Breslin playing Olive, she was 9 playing a 7-year-old. So, honestly, not too far off on the age castings for me. And I do think that he was a believable 15-year-old, sort of in the, I don't know. I bought it. Maybe if he was, like, in a high school with actual 15-year-olds, I'd be like, what the fuck is this adult man doing here? But in the isolated situation of, like, their family, I'm like, yeah, maybe they could have said he was 17. Maybe I would believe that a little more.
I think you're right about that.
I wasn't too mad about it.
No.
Yeah, I wasn't.
I was just impressed that he could give a performance that was, like, so good without speaking, like hardly any dialogue.
The entire time.
Yeah.
Right.
He didn't speak until, like, the third act of the movie.
Right? When you don't speak for 9 months and then your first word is, fuck! So good. I'm like, I relate to that, buddy. But speaking of, like, weird mother-sons, not to go off on a side tangent,
please.
But speaking of weird mother-son castings, I just saw The Northman. So, like, a couple of days ago, I went to, have you seen it?
No. It's been on my list, but are you talking Nicole Kidman and Alexander Skarsgård?
Yeah.
After they played husband and wife in Big Little Lies.
In Big Little Lies? I was like, what the fuck? I was like, and I mean, they aged her up a little bit. They definitely, like, gave her some, like, old lady prosthetic makeup movement. Like, 'cause she plays, it's, like, over a generation, basically. So you see her as, like, a younger mom, then you see her as an older mom. So it's not entirely weird. But them with a mother-son dynamic, I'm like, oh my god, this is Big Little Lies, and she's about to push him down the stairs. Like
Zoe Kravitz just comes out of nowhere.
Yeah. It's, like, so weird. But, so not that was really spoilers or anything for anyone who hasn't, that's just the casting of The Northman. But I did really like it. I would recommend, definitely enjoyed seeing it on the big screen. Like, very, like, cinematic. It's in the way that I really wished I had seen The Lighthouse on the big screen, is the way that I'm like, oh, thank God I get, like, this kind of, not redemption, because I wouldn't say it was as good as The Lighthouse, but I definitely very, like, up to Robert Eggers' standards of, like, historically accurate, beautiful to look at, well-written, well-acted movies. So definitely to loop back around on new stuff, I enjoyed The Northman.
Yeah, no, I gotta get on that sometime this week, once I have a free moment, because it's been on my list. I've been hearing, like, a lot of different things, though, as people either really liked it or, like, were pretty meh about it. So
I kind of fuck with, like, the Viking shit, and I kind of like, I like knowing that he always makes his movies so historically accurate. Like, that's his whole jam. It's like, oh, I'm gonna do research, and I think that added to my experience. And I think maybe if I hadn't known that, I wouldn't really have cared for it as much. But knowing that everything that's happening on screen has been, like, deeply researched and based in some sort of factual reality was very cool to me.
Yeah.
Especially about, like, something so, like, I don't know, wild like Vikings. See, but anyways,
I'm just hoping that he gets to make Nosferatu. Did you not hear about that?
Is that a thing?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
No.
I'm pretty sure. Maybe I'm 90% sure that he was trying to remake it
with Robert Pattinson.
No, I think
who's gonna be Nosferatu?
I think Harry Styles was signed on to it for a minute, but
what?
I swear to God. But I think he had to drop it. Hold on.
That seems like a meme tweet, like a tweet that somebody like you know, like Clickhole, like a Clickhole article would be like, Harry Styles signs on as Nosferatu. What the fuck?
Yeah, Robert Eggers Nosferatu. Yeah,
with Harry Styles, I would love to see.
I hope.
To see it. Oh, I also just the trailer for
Anya Taylor-Joy is the only person listed when you look it up, because of course she is.
What's that new Harry Styles Florence Pugh movie? What's it called? Don't Worry, Darling?
Oh my god, yes.
The trailer just popped up for that, and I'm so excited. I'm trying to not overhype it in my brain, because I'm like, if I overhype it and then I see it and I don't like it, I'm like trying to keep it pretty neutral, but I'm really fucking excited.
Yeah.
I love that movie.
I'm not gonna lie, the way that the trailer turned me on, it's gonna be a lot. I don't know if I'm allowed to see it in a theater, because I'm gonna act up.
Yeah. They're like audibly moaning. Just, it's not okay.
He's like giving her head on the dining room table. I'm like, I can't.
I can't. It's like, I'm gonna have to go to like the Wednesday 11 a.m. showing by myself in like a hoodie so no one recognizes me for when I just start grunting. But no, I don't know how to connect this back to Little Miss Sunshine.
There's no good way.
But you did like it.
Yeah, I did like it.
Okay. Thank God. Yeah, definitely one of my faves, and not to reveal too much, but I think we're gonna cover Okja next week, which is also, like, gun to my head top 10, Okja's coming before Little Miss Sunshine,
Okay.
so I'm so excited to talk about that one too. But yeah, this is definitely just a comfort movie for me. I love the message of, like, it's okay to just be okay. Like, you don't have to be good at anything. Mediocrity, that's super awesome. And I love that as a message for a movie, because I'm like, yeah, I'm just okay at everything, and that's okay.
And that's all I need.
But I do love the sort of, like, focus on child beauty pageants and, like, the hypocrisy of, like, that they're over-sexualizing these young girls, and then the minute Olive gets up there to do the super freak dance, they're all mortified, because I religiously was glued, my eyeballs were glued to the TLC, the Learning Channel. Growing up, I watched all that fucking shit. Say Yes to the Dress, Toddlers and Tiaras, What Not to Wear. That was my fucking shit growing up. For like, literally ages, like, 8 to, like, maybe 14 was all the Learning Channel. And I think I've seen, if you gave me a list of the episodes that aired from that time of Toddlers and Tiaras, I've probably seen 90% of them. I watched that show so much. And, like, not out of admiration, but out of being like, this is so fun. And I was a child. I was like 10. The girls on screen were my age, and I was like, this is so fucked up. I'm like, this is so fucked up, and I want to consume it.
Oh my god. Yeah, no. That immediately brought me back to Toddlers and Tiaras when I saw that on screen, because I definitely watched a handful of it. It was like playing in the back while I'm, like, sitting on my like, iPod Touch or some shit, you know what I mean? I'm playing Angry Birds, and that's on the TV behind me. I'm just rotting my brain.
Angry Birds. Cut the Rope. Doodle Jump.
What was it?
Yes.
Fruit Ninja?
Fruit Ninja. Talking a stranger off the ledge from suicide on Kick. Oh. Yes, that was that. That was that era.
Yeah.
No, just me.
No. We've all been there, right?
Right. Yeah, right. Your internet friends who were, like, adults. Yeah. But yeah, those girls that they used in this movie were real pageant
I
girls.
assume.
This movie didn't have a huge budget, so they just went around to pageants and basically they just asked these moms, like, do you want your daughter to be in a movie? You just have to show up this day and have her just do her normal pageant routine. And they were all like, yes, of course. Like, I want fame for my child. And a lot of them afterwards went for it and were like, this movie portrays pageants in a bad light. It's not really like that. They dramaed it up. But I'm like, dude, there's literally a reality show called Toddlers and Tiaras where they show mothers spray tanning their daughters and making them put in fake teeth. Like,
flippers.
Maybe that's not how the flipper! Oh, but maybe that's not how, like, every pageant is, but, like, obviously enough of it is that they could make a whole fucking show about it, so.
Horrifying.
Yikes.
But do we want to give a bit of a recap for anyone who hasn't seen this?
Oh, yeah. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. Right now it's available on Hulu, if you have Hulu, and it's like a 90-minute film. It's pretty short. It's a nice little indie romp, I would say. And as far as plot goes, it focuses on this family where it's, Toni Collette, what's her name? It's not Janice, but it's something like Janice.
I couldn't tell you.
Toni Collette, basically, she's the mom. Greg Kinnear, he's the dad, and his name is Richard. And I know that only because his name is Richard Hoover, which is Dick Hoover, which is cocksucker. Like they did that on purpose. They're like, his name is going to be Richard Hoover, like, fucking cocksucker, because he's the fucking worst.
Yep.
But Greg Kinnear, he plays the dad. And basically Toni Collette, she's, like, overworked, and she has this unemployed husband who has this 9-step to success program that he's trying to sell, but, like, obviously not making money from, really. And they have a daughter named Olive together. That's Abigail Breslin. She's 7 years old and she loves beauty pageants. The subject of our month, Paul Dano, he plays Dwayne, who was Toni Collette's son from a previous marriage. He's taken a vow of silence so that he could become a fighter pilot, I guess. Okay. And then the grandpa also lives with them. That's Alan Arkin, and he loves to coach Olive for her pageant shit, and he's, like, very involved, but he also, like, got kicked out of a retirement home for snorting heroin and, like, openly just, like, says really offensive and gross shit all the time, but, like, also is kind of endearing. Anyways, that's their whole family, and basically Olive was going to be in this pageant But then, like, the winner got disqualified for dieting pills, so she, like, was second, so she gets the crown or whatever, so she gets to move on to the next pageant, which is Little Miss Sunshine. They find out 2 days before the pageant, so they have to really rush to get there. They live in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and the pageant is in California, so they all need a Oh! I forgot about Steve Carell!
I was gonna ask.
So Steve Carell is Toni Collette's gay brother who tried to commit suicide and also is like a fucking Proust scholar or some shit like that. And he like tried to commit suicide because he like fell in love with one of his grad students, but the grad student didn't love him back and then fell in love with a different man who got a MacArthur Genius Grant over him or some shit like that. So he tries to commit suicide but is unsuccessful, so then he has to go live with them because he can't be like left alone or anything. So he also has to come on this trip. So they all pile into this van that they have that like and then eventually the van breaks down, the clutch doesn't work, so that they can only, like, go, they can't stop. It's, like, a whole quirky thing, and they just have a lot of little hijinks, a little family. There's a lot of tension, there's fighting in the marriage and just with everyone. Then the grandpa dies, and that's a whole thing. So then they're like, oh god, what are we gonna do with the body? And the funeral home is like, you can't leave him here. So they're like, okay, we're taking him. So they fucking sneak the body out of the hospital into the back of the van. They get to the pageant, and they realize that, like, she competed in, like, a much smaller pageant where she just kind of got to, like, be a little girl and have fun, and this pageant was, like, toddlers and tiaras type shit where they're putting these little girls in flippers and spray tans and bikinis, and it's, like, fucked up. And they're like, oh, Jesus Christ, like, this is not really what we had thought was going to be the situation, but they let her do it anyway because she's really into it. And then at the very end, she does her dance routine, which is the one that her now deceased grandfather has taught her, and it's a strip tease to the song Super Freak, and it's just like very over sexual, which like makes a lot of sense coming from the grandpa. Like, it's super fucked up to make your fucking 7-year-old granddaughter like do, like, she's like ripping off her clothes and like it's just a lot. And then they're like, you have to get off stage. And so the whole family gets up on stage and dances with her. And they're like, no, fuck you. Our daughter's really cool. And then in the end, they all get arrested. But they're like, we won't send you to jail or press charges if you agree to never compete in pageants again. And so then that's the... Oh, and then there was a whole thing where Paul Dano's character, Dwayne, he's taking this vow of silence because he wants to fly planes. But then he finds out that he's colorblind, and so you can't fly planes if you're colorblind.
He has a whole breakdown.
So he breaks his vow of silence and screams the word fuck and rolls down a hill, and then the family's like, can we please make it to this pageant? And he's like, I'm so pissed. And they're like, can you please? And then Olive just gives him a little hug, and it's very endearing. And then he says, okay. And then him and Steve Carell's character really have a nice bonding moment where they're kind of like, nothing in life really matters, huh? And you think you put all your energy into something that doesn't work out, and you just gotta realize that life is just kind of a fucking mystery, and who cares about anything? And that's my favorite relationship, or like interactions in this movie, are between Dwayne and... Oh, what's Steve Carell's character's name? I'm so bad.
I can't remember.
We just referenced everyone by their actor names, but yeah, their sort of dichotomy of like they're the only two who really understand each other the whole time because they both are kind of like outsiders looking in, almost being like, this family's fucked up. Mm-hmm. Like Dwayne's the only one from the beginning. It's like, our family's fucked. like everyone in here is fucking
sucks.
Insane. Writes on his little notepad. Mm-hmm. But this was really his breakout performance, Paul Dano's. Yeah. And it wasn't necessarily a breakout performance for Steve Carell, but when they casted him, he hadn't really been in anything big because it was like a small indie movie and it took so long to fund and get the ball rolling and stuff. So when they did cast him, Steve Carell really hadn't been in anything, but by the time the movie came out, he had been in 40-Year-Old Virgin, and the first season of The Office had started. So by the time the movie came out, he actually had been in a lot of like pretty big stuff, which probably aided to the success of the movie a little bit. But when they did cast him, they were like, because they wrote that role for Bill Murray, and then Bill Murray said no, and then Robin Williams, and then Robin Williams couldn't do it, and literally then they hired Steve Carell, who was this kind of like no reputation, like not a big actor. So to think that these two huge actors were like the person they had in mind for it, is wild.
Well, I was talking to someone about this because it's just one of those things that I feel like you don't always. I mean, he definitely does a lot of serious roles, but like you don't think of Steve Carell as someone that does like a serious role, or like I wouldn't call this, like, a serious role, but, like, it's not, like his typical, like, comedy bit and everything like that, you know what I mean? But he's so good in them always. Like, he really does, like, stand out in this movie, and I think just in general when he does anything else, like, serious, like Foxcatcher or freaking Beautiful Boy or anything like that. So I really loved his performance in this.
No, I was gonna say immediately what comes to mind for me is Beautiful Boy, and also him as Donald Rumsfeld in Vice. Like, his ability to... I guess... Donald Rumsfeld in Vice was, like, it's a little comedic because it's a movie about, like, shitty politicians, and there was, like, a little bit of comedy there, but there's nothing fucking comedic about Beautiful Boy, and I think he has just such a crazy range that isn't super, like, noticeable up front, because you think of him and you're like, oh, The Office, like the silly guy from The Office, right? Steve Carell, wow. But this movie is really funny, too.
Yeah.
This is, I think, at its core, this movie is a comedy, but it, like, deals with more serious issues,
some heavy
I
shit.
guess.
Yeah, no, for me, it was, The Grandfather that stood out. Definitely Scene Stealer and all that, so.
Oh my god. That one scene in particular in the van where he's like, Dwayne, you gotta fuck a lot of women because you're 15 and they're jailbait. I was like, no, well, because you're like, no, this is so shitty, but at the same time, you're like, why is this, like,
hysterical?
Not endearing, but, yeah, like, not endearing, but, like, and not relatable either, but, like, you know this relative that just says whatever the fuck they want. Like, I feel like everyone has one of those, and I'm just like, this is somebody's grandpa, like, just being fucking absurd. He's so good. But he won an Oscar for this movie, which checks out. I think.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I think if you're gonna give anyone in this movie an Oscar, I think Alan Arkin probably deserves it, in my opinion. But I think, like, as a cast, so strong.
For sure.
So this movie was nominated for 4 Oscars, and it won 2 of them, which was pretty, good considering.
What other one did it win?
Much smaller. It won Best Original Screenplay.
Okay.
So, original screenplay and supporting actor, which we love to see. Alan Arkin beat Matt Damon for The Departed.
Thank God.
In The Departed, I think they swept every category they were nominated for, except for supporting actor. Yes, we love to see it.
We got him!
But also, Abigail Breslin was nominated for supporting actress, and...
Absolutely wild. She was in everything. She was 10 years old, and she was in everything around this time. And where is she now?
Retired.
Fell off.
Retired.
She fell off. She doesn't need to do movies anymore. She's paid for the rest of her life.
No, yeah, she busted her ass from ages 6 to 15. And then she said, I'm done. I got a beach house. I'm retired. Must be nice. Must be nice. Oh, what did I say? Supporting actor, supporting actress. Oh, Best Picture. I was nominated for Best Picture and Screenwriting, and it won for the Screenplay and Alan Arkin, which, honestly, The Departed did win that year for Best Film, and I think this is a better movie than The Departed, so...
I 100% agree.
It
might be a hot take, but...
Abigail Breslin lost supporting actress to Jennifer Hudson, who in Dreamgirls, which,
How funny must it be to be in that category, like, as Jennifer Hudson, and you're, like,
kid.
up against a 10-year-old?
But to be like, nah, I beat you!
Who else was nominated that year?
So it was Cate Blanchett, Abigail Breslin, Adriana Barraza, Jennifer Hudson, and Rinko Kikuchi. But Cate Blanchett was in there, too, which is also wild.
Absolutely wild lineup.
Right,
Cate Blanchett versus a 10-year-old.
Yeah. They have to fight to death on the Oscar stage.
Abigail Breslin starts biting people's ankles.
But I will say, like, every time there are kid actors, and I like preface it by saying, like, I hate kid actors, but my favorite thing about this movie is that they made her act like a child. She acted how a fucking 7-year-old acts in those situations. She was just sort of carefree and goofy and naive in the way that a 7-year-old is. There's nothing I hate more than, like, an overly precocious 10-year-old, like the fucking little sister in 500 Days of Summer, being like, just because some girl has the same weirdo hobbies as you do. Like, no fucking child talks like that. I'm sorry. I just like that she was a kid acting like a kid, because I don't think movies do that a ton.
No, never. They love to put a precocious little child in it.
Just, like...
It's too much.
And it's always, like, you can tell they're reading lines, and it's like, it's not their fault, because they're 12 or whatever. But I'm like, you're reading lines because kids don't talk like that. Like, kids don't talk like that. Like, I'm sure they just fucking let Abigail Breslin on set and was like, be a kid. And she was like, okay. And, like, it just
I can manage.
Right? Like, that just works. I don't know. Oh, when she says Alamodi, so cute. So fucking cute. Like,
she was cute. I loved her glasses in this. You have her glasses. You're wearing her glasses.
Literally, for those at home. So I have these same glasses in, like, a darker, like, a green. When I have these on, I look like Uncle June from The Sopranos, who has these glasses. And then when I have these clear ones on, I look like Abigail Breslin. But I also, if anyone's seen The Righteous Gemstones, the dead mom from Righteous Gemstones also has these same glasses. And Henry's always like, that's you. Those are your glasses. And I'm like, no. So I just feel like little Abigail Breslin with my fucking clear, huge glasses on my face. I did, like, dive a little bit if we want to go into the whole Oscar spiel, because I was really curious, right? Because this was a 10-year-old nominated for an Oscar. And, like, I wonder if this was, like, groundbreaking. But I was like, there's no way she's the first kid ever. Like, you know, there's no way that this was the performance that they were like, okay, like, we'll bite, you know, we'll let a kid nominate, right? So I was looking into it about the youngest ever nominees, and so I think to date the youngest nominee is the kid from Kramer versus Kramer. He was 8. Okay. He was 8 at the time, but on this little list of top 10 of all kids, like, basically 10 or under, Quvonjene Wallace, who was Annie, but she was nominated for Beasts of Southern Wild. She was 9, and she was nominated for Best Actress, which is wild.
That's insane.
Because most of these are for supporting, but she was literally 9, and she was nominated for Best Actress.
Bro, how do you peak at 9 years old? Like,
fucking insane. But Mary Badham, who was Scout in the To Kill a Mockingbird, she was 10 and she was nominated. Haley Joel Osment for The Sixth Sense, he was 11. He was nominated. Justin Henry for Kramer vs. Kramer, he was 8. Abigail Breslin in this, she was 10. And the only child winner, really, is Tatum O'Neal for Paper Moon. She was 10. I don't know really what that is, but...
Is that for supporting?
She won for supporting actress, and she was 10.
That's insane.
So all those other ones were just nominees, but this one 10-year-old bitch fucking took the Oscar, which is insane.
Now I need to watch whatever movie that was.
Yeah, it's called Paper Moon. I had never seen it or heard of it, really, but
no.
That's wild to me. Imagine being 10 and winning an Oscar, then you really can retire. I wouldn't do anything.
What's your speech? What does your speech say? Thanks,
right?
Mom and Dad.
I'd like to thank my 3rd grade acting coach who cast me as the lead in The Cat in the Hat. Really just drove my success. Like, what? But so then I was sort of like, okay, well, if those are just the youngest people to be nominated, then who are the youngest people to win? Like, who are in each category of all time the youngest winners? So for lead actor, the youngest winner ever is Adrian Brody for The Pianist, and he was 29. So the youngest person to ever win an Oscar for lead actor was 29 years old. No one younger has ever won. Isn't that crazy?
That's fucked up. Isn't it like, does Jennifer Lawrence hold it for actress, or did she just get beat?
No, so for lead actress, Marley Martin for Children of a Lesser God was 21.
Oh.
So a 21-year-old for actress was the youngest winner. It was just wild to me that Adrian Brody's the youngest.
29.
And this 21-year-old, and the entire top 10 of youngest lead actresses were all under 27. The youngest actresses were like 21, 22, 22, 23, 23. They were all, I think, at the end of the list of top 10 youngest actresses to win lead actress, the oldest was 26.
My God.
Right? Which is crazy to me. And then for supporting actor, Timothy Hutton was 20 for Ordinary People. And on that list of top 10, there were only 4 on the list under the age of 20. At all. And then for youngest supporting actress, obviously, it was Tatum O'Neal, 10 years old for Paper Moon. And on that list of the top 10, 3 of them were under 20. So 3 teenagers have won supporting actress, and all top 10 winners were under 30. So it's just wild to think about, like, I don't want to say, like, ageism in the reverse, right? But in Hollywood, how, like, when you're an actress, you're in your prime between the ages of 20 to 27. And after that, you're regarded as, like, a mom or, like, you know, I don't know.
A witch.
yeah, right? You're a mom or you're a witch. I think there's a good Meryl Streep quote about that. But it was just crazy to me looking at the ages of these, like, lists of winners, that the youngest man is 29 and the entire list of women are all under 27. Like,
that's ridiculous.
Right? Yeah, it's just so weird. It's so it's so icky. And it's not like, I would like to think it's like these women are more talented and work harder than their male counterparts in this field, and that's why they're all winning awards so young. But it's because that only young women get cast. Like, once you've literally hit 26, you're too old to get cast. So other than like the few who make it. So just wild to me. And even the kids, even looking at like the child under 20, which is like, I'm not gonna say a teenager's a child actor, but like a sub 20, there were so many more girls than boys for like nominations and stuff. So
that's gross.
So fuck the Oscars. And
nothing new. Fuck the Oscars.
And also, like, I don't know, just like cast people in age appropriate roles in relationships and stuff. Like, I don't want to see, because even like, not to go back to the Northmen, but Anya Taylor-Joy and Alexander Skarsgård, she's like, what, 25 and he's 45. Those are rough estimates. Like, but like, they play love interests, and even when it was happening, I was like, this is icky. Yeah. I'm like, I know it's like legal and fine, it's like Viking times or whatever, but I'm like, this is icky.
Yeah. Not ideal.
But anyways, that was like my little tangent today at work. I was like, she was nominated for an Oscar when she was 10. There has to be other 10-year-olds, like, child actors, right? Like, but the Academy very rarely does nod to child actors, and I really felt like they fucking should have this past year for the kid in Minari.
Oh, yeah, he was good.
I was like, he should have got one. Oh.
Yeah, I wish. He was good. I always think of, what was it, that kid, Jacob Tremblay in Room.
Oh, so good. And now he does, like, blockbuster shit, and I'm like, you should have stayed.
Yeah.
But I mean, good for him.
But also, like, what's his name? From, Jojo Rabbit.
Oh, Jojo Rabbit.
I loved him.
Oh, what's his name? Was like Roman something. I don't know. I was gonna say Polanski.
Oh no!
Nope. That's not right. But he got a Golden Globe nom, I remember, but not an Oscar nom. And I was like, "Fuck you, Oscars! Give this child the recognition he deserves because he was good."
Ugh, that movie makes me. Whenever I need to cry. It's Jojo Rabbit.
Speaking of Taika Waititi, if you haven't seen Our Flag Means Death on HBO, I just binged it all in one night. Henry,
is it that good?
I liked it. Was like, it's a comedy, and each episode's only 35 minutes, so it's like, and it's like what, like 9 episodes or something. So it's pretty quick to get through, but it's just like a nice little comedy about like gay pirates. It's really nice. And Taika Waititi's in it. He plays Blackbeard. Like, it's really cute. I don't know. It's just nice. I saw all the girlies on TikTok being like, the gay pirate show. And I was like, you know what? I'll bite. And
yeah, I was going to say, I've seen so much content about it. I've been like, oh, maybe I should. Maybe I have to. I don't know.
I enjoyed it.
I'm in the middle of like a dry spell TV-wise. Like, I haven't watched a good show in a very long time. And I'm like, I need to find something. So maybe it'll be that one. But I've also been seeing a lot of stuff about the show The Wilds. I don't know. I hear the lesbians like that one.
I haven't heard that one. Henry like left to go home for the weekend because we're moving. So he's like, I'll take some boxes and I'll go home because I have finals this weekend. I was like, sure. So I was alone with cats. I was like, what do I do? Because I can't watch our show that we watch together, you know, because that's like cheating basically.
Yeah.
So
what do you watch together right now?
Right now, we are watching, so we're going all the way through Better Call Saul, and then we're going to do Breaking Bad.
Nice.
So we're about halfway through Better Call Saul right now, which we try to align, this is like, I don't know, not relevant, but we try to time our TV watchings with what his brothers are also watching so that we can like all talk about it together. Cause like,
you have a little community.
Like you just like to talk about, so they all started Better Call Saul, so we're a couple of like weeks behind them, but we're like, we're bingers, so we're like rapidly trying to catch up. And then I've watched Breaking Bad all the way through probably 5 or 6 times, which is insane. I used to do a seasonal rotation of Lost in the summer and Breaking Bad in the winter. And that was my rotation for like probably 5 years of my life. Like I don't know why. But so I've seen it a lot of times, but he's never seen it all the way through. So I'm so excited to like not watch the show. I'm gonna be watching him watch the show. Like that's my intention with this. As always, we are here with my lovely mother, Jen, halfway through the show to play the game Chocolate or Vanilla. She hosts it. She just says two things. We say which one we like better. Jen, is there a theme this week? And also, how are you doing?
I'm really good. How are you guys doing?
Outstanding.
I'm fine.
Nice. Outstanding and fine. This is how this is going to go. And there is a theme. It is TV families versus movie families.
Ooh.
Okay.
Yeah. And it was not suggested by any fans because I'm waiting for the fan suggestions to kind of like match the movie. Mm-hmm. But there are so many good ones coming up, though. So many good ones coming up. All right, chocolate or vanilla?
Chocolate.
Vanilla.
Chocolate. Chocolate, vanilla, or strawberry?
Chocolate.
I'll say strawberry this week.
Yeah, I think I'll say strawberry too. All right. The Bundys from Married with Children, or the Hoovers from Little Miss Sunshine.
The only Bundy I know is Ted.
Not that one.
I do not know.
Al and
I
Peg.
do not know. I don't know Married with Children, but just the name of that show sounds incredibly boring. And this is one of my favorite movies of all time, so obviously I'm going with the Hoover fam from Little Miss Sunshine.
Yeah, it's got to be the Hoovers.
Yeah, I love the Hoovers. I'm all about it. Next one is the Sopranos or the Corleones from The Godfather.
I've only watched like part of the first season of The Sopranos, but I'm not wedded to The Godfather by any means, and I think The Sopranos are infinitely more entertaining, so I'll say The Sopranos.
Oh, sorry, I'm back. My cat just jumped up onto his... I can see him. He's still trying to eat... Like, you know, gibbets, the thing you put into Crocs?
Yeah.
He's trying to eat a gibbet.
Oh.
He can't swallow that, so it's just gonna... Anyways, but obviously, The Sopranos, I fucking love The Sopranos. I'm already, like, fantasizing about the rewatch I'm gonna do in, like, 5 years, once, like, the nitty-gritty details have eroded from my brain, so I can, like, watch it again. Like, not like it's the first time, but, like, still kind of get that sensation.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I fucking love that show, and I love The Soprano fam.
So I have never watched The Sopranos. I know I should. So I'm going to say the Corleones from Godfather. Next one is the Bradys from the Brady Bunch or the Von Trapps from Sound of Music.
Only one of these families can sing in unison, and I just think that makes the Von Trapps objectively better. Like, you're entering these two families into a competition, and I just think the Von Trapps are gonna fucking sweep no matter what it is. Like, the Bradys are soft. The Von Trapps are fucking hard.
You know the Bradys, like, totally did sing, right?
In the show?
Yeah,
yeah.
Like, a couple of episodes, they, like, entered, like, a contest, and, like, Peter's voice was changing, and they used that to their advantage.
Well, clearly I don't recall it, so it couldn't have been that good.
I was gonna say, the Von Trapps are disciplined, though. They, like, march to a whistle and all that. I was gonna say, points off for Liesel for being in love with a Nazi, but I'll still choose the Von Trapps.
Yeah,
Well, Jan, who was, like, Jan's boyfriend that wasn't real? What's his name? Like, Jake Glass or something?
I think so.
And she was like, that person's not real.
I will take...
Sure, Jan.
I'll take the Von Trapps also, because I used to watch Sound of Music, like, once every year. Like, next one is the Flintstones or the Belchers from the upcoming movie Bob's Burgers. I call them movie.
Look at you.
Yeah.
Look at you. I'm excited. The handful of times I've been to the movie theaters in the past couple of weeks, I always, like, get the Bob's Burgers movie trailer. And that's definitely one. I fucking love Bob's Burgers. I'm not really into, like, cartoons for adults, typically. I don't know, but that's, like, a good, like, put it on in the background show, so I'll definitely have to go with the Belcher fam.
Yeah, it's Bob's Burgers for me all the way. Like, I think I rewatched the first season, like, 2 or so months ago, and this is after, like, a dry spell of not watching Bob's Burgers for a long time, and I had not laughed so hard in forever. I forget that the early seasons are, like, a little more unhinged, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm with you guys. I'm definitely gonna pick Belchers.
Which kid do you identify with?
It's really hard. I probably Tina.
I want to be Louise, but I am Tina.
Yeah, exactly. You kind of give me Jean vibes at the
Jean! Queen Latifah, be my strength. I'll take it. I'll take Jean any day. I strive to be a Jean.
Next one is the Tanners from Full House or the Tenenbaums from Royal Tenenbaums.
I've never seen Royal Tenenbaums, but rest in peace to Bob Saget, I guess. I don't really know, but I did watch a fuck ton of Full House growing up, like ABC Family on repeat. Like that was like my Saturday morning cartoon. Was like, what are the Tanners up to? So also really unrealistic expectations about like what a normal household is comprised of. Like people don't just like live with like their like uncle who's not really their uncle, is just a friend who sticks around and also like a cousin.
I'm gonna say the Tanners as well because I haven't seen the Royal Tenenbaums either.
Yeah, same. I'll say the Tanners also. All right, the next one's a triple. Bridgertons versus the Bennets from Pride and Prejudice versus the Marches from Little Women.
Ooh, this is kind of tough. Little historic family showdown. It's got to be the Marches for me. I'm kind of a Little Women bitch. I dressed up as Louisa May Alcott in the 3rd grade to give a book report. So I'm kind of like a tried and true March family. Love Little Women. I like had like the huge copy. I never read it, but I just like had it on my bookshelf my whole life. So, but I do really fuck with Bridgerton, and I love a historical drama. I love a historical family drama. Ooh.
I've really liked Bridgerton the first season. The second season didn't do it for me. There wasn't enough sex.
Really? You didn't think it was horny? I thought it was just as horny.
No, not even close.
Maybe not. Maybe it's just been too long since maybe I need to go back. Maybe I need to go back and rewatch season 1 of Bridgerton.
I didn't see enough male ass in this one for me. But I'm gonna go with the March family because that's one of my comfort movies is Little Women. So
yeah, me too. I love Little Women. I cannot get into the second season of Bridgerton. I watched like one episode. Yeah, I just can't get into it.
It's not as good.
Agreed. The next one is the Fosters from the ABC Family show, The Fosters, or the Cullens from Twilight.
Oh my god, the only thing I know about the Fosters is that fucking Jake T. Austin from Wizards of Waverly Place is in that show, and I would always see he was like in Wizards of Waverly Place at the same time as he was doing the Fosters, and they're like tonally very different. I always remember like, okay, Jake T. Austin, getting your acting in 2009.
Then he got replaced. He got replaced by that Noah Centineo or whatever. The guy.
Really?
Yeah.
But obviously it's the Cullens. Like, any of these families. The Sopranos against the Cullens, it's the Cullens. Like, the Cullens are the fictional family.
Yeah.
For me.
Oh, yeah, for sure. It's the Cullens, no question.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Cullens. I did love the Fosters, though. The next one is the Martins from Sweet Life of Zack and Cody, or the Bankses from Mary Poppins.
Oh, it's Sweet Life of Zack and Cody. It's the Martins. I love that they just lived in a hotel, and that was just something we were supposed to accept as kids. Like that was like normal. Like, oh, they live in the hotel because their mom is a singer there, and that's the explanation. Like, what the fuck was that? Like that just is not enough proof for me. But that was definitely like I was like a Disney bitch for sure.
Yeah,
definitely watched all those like sitcoms for kids. So
yeah, no, I was also a Disney bitch, so I've got to go for the Martins.
Yeah, same. I love that show. The next one is the Walshes from Beverly Hills 90210, or the Bagginses from The Hobbit.
Obviously, the Bagginses. There are so many of them. There's like a 1,000-person family. It's kind of like incestuous. Like their whole town is like they're all related. But like, what are you gonna do when the year is like 0? You know?
Yeah.
90210 might be incestuous also.
Really? I've never seen
those twins. They were tight. Yeah.
So I've never seen either of these, but out of just sheer respect for The Hobbit, I'll say the Bagginses.
I will go with the Walshes from 90210 because I loved Beverly Hills 90210 back in the day. Last one is this last one. The Salingers from Party of Five, or the Everdeens from Hunger Games.
Oh my god. I've never seen Party of Five. because I was born in 1998. So I will say, and because I was born in 1998, I was the ripe age to be for those preteen dystopian novels. So definitely got to go for the Everdeens.
Yeah, everyone knows where I stand on the Hunger Games on this podcast. So clearly, it's gonna be the Everdeens.
Yeah, Everdeens for the sweep. So that was it. That was everything. So in my family's edition.
TV fans versus movie fans. About our family, do you think it would be better as a movie or a TV show? I definitely think we're a TV show fan. We're like an episodic, like each person has their little hijinks to the side, but then there's one plot where we all come together. I sense that.
Yeah, I can see that. What about your family, Em? A TV show or a movie?
I'd probably say movie. It'd have to be in a very specific setting. Like a Europe, like we were just in London. Like
that's what I was gonna say. You could
European
be a
vacation.
TV show, and it could have like the special episode is you guys go to London.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my god. I was just gonna say that if your family life was a movie, it would be about a vacation. I don't know why. For some reason, just every time you've brought up like, oh, this is so like family vacation vibe, like a family vacation, but it's the Kevras. I really sense that.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
Emily goes to London, and we go to Old Orchard Beach.
It would just be us going to like 9 different old churches in a row.
Well, as always, Jen, thank you so much for coming on the pod, playing our little game, Chocolate or Vanilla. I'll try to post these on our Instagram so everyone can vote, and also submit in your themes. DM them to us if you think of any fun chocolate or vanilla ideas. And yeah, that is all. Thank you so much, Jen.
Thanks. I love you guys. Have an awesome week.
We've barely even talked about Little Miss Sunshine. Who cares? Who cares?
Yeah, I did like this movie, but like I didn't feel like there was much for me to say, honestly, besides that I loved the grandfather and this fueled my grandparent issues. Maybe that's why I didn't like it. This left me feeling kind of sad. I did not expect him to die.
Yeah, that is.
I was like, he's gonna like pop up, like he'll be fine or whatever. I was like, oh no, he's dead. He's dead as fuck.
I was literally sitting here cackling when she's about to do her dance routine, and she says, "This one's dedicated for my grandfather," and he asks, "Where is he now?" And she says, "In the trunk of our car." Oh, yeah, that's the Oscar-nominated line right there.
So good.
Before she does the super freak dance, like, so fucking funny.
I know. I was also, like, ready to cry when they all got on stage and danced. It was so...
This movie is so hard. That's maybe why I love it so much. It's like when I need a good, like, it's sad and happy at the same time, which is the best kind of, like, feel-good movie to me, is when it can make you, like, feel emotional in both directions at the same time. Because, like, a movie that's just happy is only for certain times, and a movie that's just sad is only for certain times. But this movie can give me both simultaneously. When I just need that, like, emotional, like, what is it called when you get electrocuted to the chest? Like,
like defibrillated?
Yeah, defibrillated. Yeah, like this movie's like a defibrillator for me. Clear.
The only reason I know that is because I got CPR certified like 3 days ago.
Really? Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's a big accomplishment. But yeah, no, this is like when my depression is making me feel nothing, I like watch this movie and it defibrillates sadness and happiness into my system. And it's like, yeah, you can feel again because this movie made you cry.
See, my plan for after this is I'm gonna go watch, and I haven't watched it, but I know it's gonna make me sob. I'm gonna go watch the Ewan McGregor Christopher Robin movie.
Oh, didn't that get horrible reviews?
I don't know, but like I saw enough people on Letterboxd being like, this made me sob my eyes out, so I'm like, oh, okay, I'm putting this on my to-do list.
And a good little throwback to
you just need like a good cleanse of a cry.
Right, yeah. But last year we did Ewan McGregor, so you're watching a Ewan McGregor movie during our MAYno month, so that's really referential of you. I know you're doing it on purpose.
Yeah, that's exactly it. My ginormous brain.
Oh my god, but so I was like looking at fun facts about this movie, and originally the Dwayne character was like gonna be a himbo.
What do you mean?
The Dwayne character, so originally what they had in mind for him was that he wants to be a fighter pilot, so he's this like beefcake. And he is this beefcake who like just so happened to stumble across like philosophy and this whole like vow of silence thing.
Yeah.
And he was gonna have a
Really,
mohawk.
really into Nietzsche and all that.
He was gonna have a mohawk, and he was gonna be like this beefcake with a mohawk who was like, I want to be in the Air Force, so I'm taking a vow of silence. And then they found Paul Dano, and he was like this twinky little scrawny little boy with floppy hair. And they were like, you know what, not what we were looking for, but like, this works too.
Yeah.
Little emo boy, this works too.
You know what? We actually like this better.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Yeah. I think I was just so excited in this movie to see like the breakdown that he has, because I've seen it so many times. Like, people just like, I follow like
on
a
Twitter,
handful of
yeah.
like film people on Twitter or like film Instagrams and all that stuff. And like I've just seen the whole scene like so many times, and just seeing it put together with the movie makes it so much better. And seeing little Abigail Breslin just go give him a hug. And he's like, "All right, let's go." It was just so good.
Which, like, I feel like there needs to be a certain age gap between siblings for that sort of dynamic to work, because if I was having a breakdown and my brother tried to touch me, I would physically assault him. Like, like this does not work for everyone.
No. But, like, what they had going on, it worked.
Yeah, and I think there's also something about, like, him being the kid from a previous marriage, of, like, feeling that sort of, like, he's an outsider looking in, or, like, he doesn't really feel like he's a part of this family thing, that I feel like really plays a big part into, because I hadn't really realized that my first several
I didn't realize that he
walkthroughs.
was a kid from another marriage.
Yeah, it's pretty subtle, but they never, like, they call her, like, Olive Hoover, which is their last name now, but, like, he doesn't have a last name, and she talks about him, like, oh, over the summer, Olive went and competed in pageants in, California with her aunt, and Dwayne went to his dad's house.
Oh.
So, like, it's, like, very, very subtle, and then when he's screaming at all of them, he looks at his mom and he says, divorced!
Yeah.
So, like, it's... Yeah, and you think it might be a reference to that they're gonna get divorced because they're fighting, right? But it's super subtle, and I didn't really notice it until a good ways, again, a couple dozen watches through that. I'm like, oh, no, this is why he feels so, like, not included in all of this, or, like, he's so unwilling to participate in these sort of, like, family things, is because... And that makes even Greg Kinnear an even bigger dick, right?
Oh my god.
The dad, because I'm like, you're, like, telling this kid all this shit, and, like, that's not even your kid. Like, fucking mind your business.
Yeah,
like,
literally.
Those memes that are like, I'm not the stepdad, I'm the dad who stepped up.
Yeah.
Like, that's definitely how he thinks of himself.
Oh, of course. Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen a character so unlikable. It was insane.
Oh my god, was it so the jump scare in this movie for me was fucking Bryan Cranston?
Yeah. That was a lot.
And the fact that the cop that pulled them over is Dean Norris, who plays Isaac Schrader in Breaking Bad. So I'm like, we have like two Breaking Bad characters before Breaking Bad even exists in the same movie.
It was so bizarre.
Like, so weird. But yeah, he was totally, and his name is Stan Grossman. And this was the watch through that I was like, Stan Grossman. What the fuck do I know that from?
Right?
And I look it up.
I didn't figure it out.
Fargo. In Fargo, William H. Macy is always like Stan Grossman. He's one of the like offside characters in Fargo. Yeah, and it was totally on purpose. It was very referential, but he kept saying Stan Grossman, and I'm like, I've heard that name repeated over and over and over in a movie before, and it's because we've covered Fargo, and I think I've never watched a movie with the lens of like needing to pay that close of attention to it. Give me a second. My cats are like fighting.
Take it down a notch, fellas.
Yeah, I watched this and I was like, what the fuck do I know that from? But
yeah, no, that's so wild.
But also in the line of fun facts, so Michael Arndt, who won the Oscar for this for Best Screenplay, Best Original Screenplay, he has the most wild discography to me. He has written this.
Lay it out.
Star Wars The Force Awakens. The revival of Star Wars with, like, Finn and Rey and Poe.
Yeah.
The revival Star Wars movie. Hunger Games 3 Catching Fire. Toy Story 3 and Inside Out. Isn't that so wild that after this he went on to do exclusively high-budget blockbusters?
Fair enough.
And, like, I'm just like, because you would think this guy's gonna go on to do, like, the writer of this movie is so, like, indie darling. Yeah. Like cute, quirky. I'm just like...
Nope.
Hunger Games?
Right?
After this, you're gonna do Hunger Games?
I'm fine with it. Catching Fire was great.
But I guess he wrote this movie in 3 days.
God damn.
Like that the first draft was done after 3 days, and like after that it was, obviously things got tweaked based on like production things, but like the core draft of this movie he wrote in 3 days, and he based it off of a real life experience of doing a long road trip with his family in a bus that the clutch was broken, and that was just like the foundation. And he wrote the script in 3 days, and he's like, I want to make it about like winners and losers. What's the biggest thing? Oh, child beauty pageants. Let's get that in there.
No, that's great. I love that.
Right?
That's
Wild.
such a fun fact.
But yeah, I guess shouts out to Michael Arndt for winning his first Oscar on a little indie movie and then immediately selling out to only write Disney movies.
Oh, he's getting that check, dog.
He's gonna retire like Abigail Breslin has.
Exactly. They live next door to each other in Miami.
Yeah, can we be besties with Abigail Breslin? She's about our age.
Yeah.
Hey,
probably.
girlie, you want to hang out?
Hey, what's up? Abigail, come on.
Abby.
You want to be on the pod? Do we want to get into our regularly scheduled programming?
Yes, I would love to.
Gorgeous.
So, first and foremost, I think that there are only 4 major adult characters in this movie, so we should simply do, like, fuck, marry, kill, and then what's our 4th one? Like, get a beer with?
Sure.
Like, fuck, marry, kill, and hang out with, right? And that's obviously the 2 parents, the grandpa, and Steve Carell. Because they're just simply, the other 2 characters are children, and nobody else has enough of a role in this movie to really matter. Mm-hmm. I think I'm gonna fuck the grandpa. Is that weird?
No.
I think I'm gonna fuck the grandpa.
You would have the best time of your life. You'd also be high as balls.
He's gonna do so much heroin to get a boner, and then we're gonna have some weird sex. And it's at least gonna be memorable. And then I think I'm gonna kill Greg Kinnear, obviously the dad. Fuck him. I'm gonna kill him. I'm gonna marry Toni Collette because I'm gonna be her 3rd marriage, but this is gonna be the one that sticks, Mm-hmm. And it's gonna be a low drama life. Like, Toni Collette, she always has that high drama life. Like, I'm just gonna, like, run her a bath. Bring her some wine in the tub. Like, she just deserves to fucking chill out for a little bit. And then I'll get a beer with Steve Carell, because he's a lot smarter than me. Mm-hmm. And so maybe we can have some sort of insightful discussion where he tells me about, I don't know, fucking Proust or whatever.
Yeah. See, I'm gonna do the inverse of what you've done. Obviously gonna kill Greg Kinnear. But I will get a beer with Steve Carell. I'm gonna fuck Toni Collette, and I'm gonna marry the grandfather. We're not gonna have a very long time together, but we are gonna have an extremely fun time for the handful of years that we have. So, yeah, no. He's gonna teach me a sexy striptease. He's gonna give me a sexy striptease. Or, who am I kidding? And Toni Collette, my typical stance. She needs to have an orgasm.
Always the giver. I love that. I'm like, I want to run her a bath, and you're like, I want to make her come. we love to. Hey, we know Greg Kinnear's not doing it. That's for fucking sure.
Exactly.
The 9 steps to winning. How about you focus on the 1 step to pleasing your wife? Like,
the 9 steps to finding the clit.
There are 9 steps though, actually. It is, that would be my 9-step program.
You're teaching all the himbos in your Socratic seminar.
That's my Socratic seminar! No, himbos know where the clit is.
Himbos aren't afraid to ask.
It's the intellectuals who have a hard time.
Yeah.
But I guess, like, as far as eating and drinking, I think this movie has a couple of really strong referential things you could go with, because there's a really great waffles a la Modi scene where she orders her waffles with ice cream, and then her dad tells her, don't eat the ice cream, only fat girls eat ice cream, which is, like, fucking problematic. And then the whole family rallies of, like, oh, no, this is, like, yeah, we're gonna eat the ice cream, don't you want some? Which is, like, I don't know, cute and supportive. So you could do, like, waffles with ice cream, or just get your favorite Ben and Jerry's. Like, that could be a good one. Also, the dinner scene that basically opens the film of her bringing home, like, off-brand KFC and them all like angrily eating chicken and fighting, and then she slams down the box of popsicles and says, "This is dessert." Really good, like, I don't know, get fried chicken, I guess, or popsicles. Those are also good referential points. But I was thinking about this, and I was like, what does this movie embody? Like, what food is this movie? And I'm like, this movie is a turkey club. Like, this movie's a turkey, but it's like a good turkey club. Like, it's like the bread is toasted. You got like good thick cut bacon, avocado. It's like a pretty fire turkey club in the way that it's simple. It's just across the board satisfying. It's not too special, but it does hit the spot. And it's maybe not what you wanted, but it's what you needed. And like, you know, from the menu, maybe it's not the thing you're gonna pick, but it's just the thing that, you know, it's the thing you order. And it's just like, it's like a good turkey club. That's what this movie is to me. When I need a good, just satisfying, middle of the road movie experience, I want to turn off my brain, but I still want to feel, you know? That's what this movie is.
I like
and it's
that.
just a turkey club to me.
Fair enough. Did you have anything for drinks wise?
Nothing particularly stood out. I guess, like, what would go with a turkey club? Like, I don't know, like a sour beer or something.
Maybe.
I don't
Yeah,
really know.
I can see that.
Like a satis, like, again, like not a Bud, not like something, like, not like a shitty light beer or anything, because that's just not good enough. But like, and nothing too fancy either. No IPAs, no bougie shit. Just, you know, like a good mid, maybe like maybe it's a little local, like a little local sour or something with your turkey club. That's what I would want. But if you're going with, like, I don't know, obviously if you do the fried chicken or the ice cream, that's a whole other. You could make the ice cream boozy too. You could do boozy milkshakes. Boozy milkshakes could really be good with this as well. So
I could see that being good.
But that.
Yeah. See, I did go the chicken route, but I think you should make like a honey hot chicken. With one of those things I feel like I've just seen so much on like TikTok and Instagram, because I live on like food TikTok. But I was like, okay, I definitely feel like the chicken vibes from that scene and everything like that, but like something a little bit nicer, something a little bit fancier, something that you want to like impress people with if you're having people over and you're watching this movie. So I think you make some hot honey chicken. And I also found a recipe that was like a little boozy. I figured it's just on brand, but it's called Liquid Sunshine. And it's
so cute.
It's 3 ounces of Malibu, 1.5 ounces of peach schnapps, orange juice, pineapple juice, and a little bit of grenadine. So I think like a nice like summery sort of cocktail and some honey hot chicken sounds good to me.
That sounds like something that's gonna taste like candy and not get me even a little bit drunk. That's what that sounds like to me.
Fair enough.
It's like two like high taste, low ABV alcohols, and then just soda. That seems so nice.
Yeah.
And then obviously, what would you follow this up with? I think it would be great to do another like angsty Toni Collette mom movie. So you could either do Hereditary, obviously, like watching Hereditary after this would be jarring.
Yeah, absolutely.
But the whole "I am your mother" speech, I'm like, this whole time I'm just waiting for her to turn to Greg Kinnear and be like, "I am your wife." But doing Hereditary, I think, would work. Also, maybe like Knives Out. She's also kind of like an angsty mom in Knives Out. That would be another like fun movie to follow this up with. But then I just like naturally, like literally what Hulu recommends after this is like Juno, Superbad, and like it's just like there's
indies.
So many like other like indie darling movies that just like so make sense.
Yeah.
But I think like do a hard cut and then watch Hereditary. That's what I think.
I think that's a good idea. I'm gonna go with, I watched this movie pretty recently, and it's very much on the opposite end of like Family Dynamics, where instead of like it's an entire family, it's just between these like two individuals. It's Mike Mills' new movie, Come On, Come On. It's got Joaquin Phoenix, and I can't think of the child's name, but this young child actor, I don't think I've ever seen him in anything else, and he is just brilliant. And I don't know, I just really liked it. I thought it could kind of fit the same vibe. It's not really, it's definitely not really like a comedy or anything like that. Not on the same wave. It's a bit of a drama, but like, I don't know. It just hits me in the heart where Mike Mills movies always do. So I don't know.
I have to watch that one. I know it's all in black and white, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't
I haven't seen
the black and white I think was wholly unnecessary, but maybe that's just me. But yeah, no, good movie.
I'll have to add it to my list. Or if you want weird mother-son age pairings, go see The Northman in your nearest
No,
theater,
really.
or as soon as it becomes available on streaming. But if you're in an area where it's chill to go to the movie theaters, or if you're in a situation where it's chill to go to the movie theaters, definitely go see The Northman in theaters. That's my suggestion for this week. And then obviously I'm gonna give this movie like a 9 out of 10. Just comfort movie, really one of my all-time favorites. Just something. It's my turkey club, you know. Yeah. This movie is my turkey club. And that's about all I can say about it. And this is the movie that really, like, I was like, who is this Paul Dano guy? Because I gotta get on this. Cause do you have like a foundation of like early sexual awakenings that even though you've aged past them, you find things like that hot, even though you objectively know they're like not that hot? Because like to me, it was like growing up, it was like Prince Zuko from the Avatar: The Last Airbender, and from Degrassi, Eli Goldsworthy.
Oh, it all makes sense.
With the black floppy hair who drove a hearse, right? So, like, even though I was at the age where, like, I objectively knew that this character, Dwayne, was, like, pretty just, like, okay, I was like, he's so hot. I can't help but think he's so hot because he just connects back to my root. My root, right? Like,
Yep. Yeah.
It's just like if I had to make like a mood board of like early sexual awakenings, and then you could just like trace everything back to it. It's like, oh, that makes sense, right? Like this is one of those things that it's just like, yeah, okay. So I was like, who's this Paul Dano guy? I gotta get into it. And then from there, I like, you know, There Will Be Blood, and then and so on and so forth, and everything he's done since. I've been like, I'm on it because I fucking love Paul Dano.
Yeah.
But
I'm gonna give this movie a soft 7.5. I really liked it. I think I would watch it again.
Okay, I'm glad to hear it. I'm glad to hear I didn't force you to watch a movie that you disliked. But I was expecting a 6, so I'm glad it was above that, to be honest. But I am excited. If we want to tease into next week, I'm so excited to talk about Okja. If any of you want to prep for next week, Netflix original, go watch Okja. Paul Dano, my boy. And he's not even like a huge part of it, but he's like a good part of it. This is a movie, it's pretty recent actually. I think it came out in 2017, I want to say.
That feels right.
And you and I had like an early budding of like, let's do this thing where we watch movies together over the pandemic. And we watched Okja, and I just drank a bottle of rum by myself and fell asleep 10 minutes in. And you were like, do I wake her up? So I love that we're covering this on the pod now, because I would say that is like the earliest buddings of the podcast for us, was when we would do these like FaceTime movie watches over the pandemic. But Okja, if you want to prep for next week, please go watch it. Literally one of my favorites. If you have any faith in me as a movie recommender.
It's a good one.
But thank you everyone who's either watching, right, for the first time. We've backlogged all our other episodes. The visuals are a little grainy because it's an hour, but hopefully this one will like make up for it still. And if anyone has like tips on, I use Adobe Premiere to edit, so if anyone has like hot tips on like how to make quality better, or like maybe just how to go about making this more, I'm pretty new to it, so I will accept all, not criticism, but more like helping hands, I guess. What is it called when you help someone? Advice.
Yeah,
I would. I would love any advice that any of you have. If you like, I don't know, think you know something that could help us work this out better. And as all those who are listening, if you want to go to subscribe to our YouTube, we're trying to be visual now. And this is our installation as we move forward of Paul MAYno. I don't even, if you want to suggest things for future May themed months, but also for this month, if there's a specific Paul Dano movie that you like are dying to have us cover, like we still, you know, are not always set on our schedule. So shouts out your favorite Paul Dano movies. And also moving forward, other themes for months. We've gotten a few really good ones that I've written down of like, I don't know, like really ones that are really fitting that I think we'll use. So we always love to hear what you guys think. So month themes, May puns, movie suggestions, even just your general movie suggestions, movies you love. We love hearing what kind of movies you guys like to watch, because I love when it's something I've never seen and I'm like, ooh, I'm gonna check that out. And as always, chocolate or vanilla themes, we'll try to have those posted up on our Instagram. All of our social media are obviously in the description below. Go check us out there, and we love you all and we appreciate you, and goodbye and good night.